computer. Okay. Hey,
Ready?
everybody. Here we go. I know, right? All right. I'll take your, stop your videos for now. Bye. See you later. Oh, okay. And, she took herself. Okay. Hey, everybody. We are so glad you are here. Welcome to the Builder Town Hall. This week, we have quite a number of things happening, and we are very excited, ridiculously excited about them. Least of which, of course, is not, and we're most excited about our guests this week that are here to help and share. So first up, as I always do, I give you a little website update. And I'll tell you that most of our builder websites that we are tracking and trending continue to increase week over week in traffic. It really does appear that about March 13th to 28th-ish was kind of our lowest points in our website traffic. And it seems to be steadily climbing up and up each week, which is really, really encouraging. Of course, that may not apply to you in your local market for some reason. And as long as you can make sense of that reason, it's okay. We get it. It's fine. But just keep an eye on it. I do have folks that are getting numbers kind of back up to where they were early March, as high as that they were, with a lot of online chat activity, some good in-person visits, activity, and sales. So that's awesome. So speaking of selling and online sales activity, I have 3 online sales rock stars and 1 area sales manager rock star who's here today to really, I wanted today to be about experts in the field right now. These are your peers that are working every day. And I thought I would just kind of ask them what's really working, what are they focusing on, and what are they doing. So first up, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Jennifer, you want to jump in and introduce yourself first?
I'm Jennifer Lucas with Jago Homes. We build in Kentucky and Southern Indiana. And I'm excited to be here with you guys.
Yeah, and how long have you been doing the online sales counselor role for Jago?
So since 2011.
Yeah, a long time.
For 3 years before that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So your background, you had some new homes background, and then you've been doing the OSC work since 11. So that's a long time. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Whitney, jump in next.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm Whitney. I'm with Homes by Dickerson, and we build in North and South Carolina. I've been with the company for just over 5 years. The first year and a half I was on site, and then I moved to Canada, and now I am the online sales counselor from abroad.
Perfect. Right? Awesome. Okay. Martha?
Yeah, I'm Martha, and I work for Tuscas Homes, and we're out of Eastern Pennsylvania in Bethlehem, PA. And I've been with the company pretty much since 2011. It'll be about 8 years in May.
Yeah. Have you been doing the OSC role most of that time, or?
I handle all of our marketing and online sales. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's a big one. All right. And David, tell us about you.
So my name is David Hagan. I'm an area sales manager for Smith Douglas Homes in Atlanta. I've been with this company about 9 months. I am a transplant from South Georgia, from Savannah, and have been in new home sales leadership for about 10 years, maybe almost 11 years now, and have really been able to work with online sales consultants and on-site sales agents. Have worked with 2 top 10 builders and then 2 private builders. So currently loving, getting to know Atlanta and getting to know this market. Smith Douglas is primarily in Atlanta. We've got other divisions in Raleigh, Charlotte, Birmingham, and Nashville. But in Atlanta, we are about 30 communities and closed about 1,000 homes last year.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to kick off with you, David, and you and I were having a Facebook message exchange the other day because I saw you were responding to somebody's post that you had something specific that you guys were doing to help facilitate virtual visits and make them a little smoother when you're doing them. And I think that's a big challenge for everybody right now, is how do we make these virtual visits work as smoothly as possible? So that is what prompted kind of this topic today, as I thought, well, what if we all had a specific thing or idea or tactic, something we're doing that's really working right now in this environment to engage people, to whatever. So why don't you kick us off with what you guys are doing at Smith Douglas with the virtual visits?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. You know, first of all, it's a little surreal because it's become full circle for me. You know, when these things began to happen, I just started plugging in everywhere. I mean, I love to read, I love to listen to podcasts, and you know, there's so many people in the industry today and who have been in the industry who, you know, we can learn from. And so I've been trying to get into as many of these type virtual, you know, meetings and town halls. So thank you, Meredith, and these folks have been joining you week in and week out for doing this, because I've gleaned so many things. And you know, so early on we realized, okay, there are a couple of things that we need. There are a lot of things that we're changing. And it's ironic now as we're talking about this, the things that we have quote unquote changed are really things that we should be doing anyway. You know, we've kind of said that everything that we're talking about really, we hope, outlasts the current situation, the pandemic, because there's nothing that we're doing that's specific to this situation or this time or this market. But we've been forced to like make sure we're following best practices. So early on, you know, and when I say early on, a month ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago, we realized that we needed to make sure we were taking advantage of technology. So one of the things that I saw on Facebook, you know, one of the people in our industry asked, you know, hey, share something that you're doing that has really moved the needle. And I'm paraphrasing, share something that kind of was an aha moment for you in these last several weeks with something you're doing different. And so my response was, the shorter version of my response was, we realized that we really need to begin before we begin. So before we jump into the sales presentation virtually, there's some things that we need to do before that. And basically we decided, so we did some training, and it's interesting, our sales rallies have taken on a whole different, you know, taste and feel because we're doing them like this. But in our Wednesday morning sales rallies, we've been helping our agents to understand best practices for virtual selling. So one of the things that we did 3 or 4 weeks ago is we spent some time making sure that our agents were trained on technology. And then making sure that they understood that they were going to have to train on technology.
Yes.
And so, you know, for agents and buyers, so if you've got an agent, an on-site agent, and certainly these online sales consultants can speak to this. If you've got an agent, online agent or on-site agent, and a buyer who are both using iPhones and they're familiar with FaceTime, okay, that's easy peasy, right? That's just, let's jump on a FaceTime call. And, you know, we've all had those sales opportunities like that, experiences like that. But when you have a prospect who either doesn't know anything about technology, or maybe one is using an iPhone and the other isn't, now all of a sudden we're forced off the FaceTime platform, and we're going to have to use something else, right? One of the other, you know, whether it's Messenger video or Skype or whatever. And so we realized that with the different levels of understanding technology, even just in our sales force, that we were going to have to do some basic, you know, training. And so we created some cheat sheets that they could use and that they could share. You know, you don't want to overwhelm a buyer, but so that was one of the things that we knew early on, is kind of, let's begin before we begin. You know, let's make sure that, and really kind of on 2 levels, let's begin with our team so that they know how to use all of these different areas of technology and know where to go if they do stumble. And then let's make sure that they're comfortable, you know, educating a prospect, or that they know who to call on to help educate the prospect before we try to start the sales process.
Yeah.
And so
And
that's
so, yeah. And Jennifer, Martha, Whitney, you guys can jump in here if, being online sales consultants, I'm sure you're kind of constantly having to kind of help somebody with technology, or know, like if they're wanting to see something on your website or find something. Or so I thought it was interesting when I saw his post that basically they're providing tech training and resources before the virtual appointment to make sure the virtual appointment can happen and happen pretty smoothly. And I thought that was interesting. Any of you guys have doing something similar with your companies?
We'll do that. We have myself and one other OSC, and we will prep them a little bit as far as, do you prefer just to FaceTime? Are you comfortable with Zoom meetings? And if they say, what's Zoom meetings? We know that we really need to stick to the basic, and we relay that information over to the sales team. So, and
Okay.
there's many people that don't know anything about Zoom.
Of course. I mean, really, I've been doing Zoom meetings for years, but prior to all of this, it really wasn't a common, like a verb. You want to Zoom, now we Zoom, Martha, Whitney, anything for you guys that you kind of do to help smooth the technology curve out?
Yeah, one of the things we did for our agents was they all have BombBomb accounts now. So before it was just me. Now we all have accounts. We've been sending each other emails. All of our agents went out into homes and did practice walkthroughs so they could get a feel for it themselves. They could feel comfortable. And then we would kind of watch them or send them to each other and just kind of say, hey, maybe go a little slower, maybe make it a little shorter. And I think that really helped for them actually starting to practice this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remembering back to, I think, week 2, remember Abrazo Homes talking about what they did literally overnight and collecting a lot of online content from their agents that they could start using right away. And when I asked Brian, the owner of the company, well, how are you able to do that the agents knew how? He goes, well, we've been using BombBomb for about a year, right? Their people had already been trained and were already working on that. And that's what you were talking about, David, is a lot of these things we probably should have been doing. We just got accelerated at light speed into it. And think about, how much will stay and how much will go back to quote unquote normal. I don't know. Right. I know that I have been waiting for months for a visit with the neurologist today about migraine headaches, which if you suffer from those, they're pretty debilitating. And they couldn't do it in person, but they did a video visit with the neurologist today for the initial consult. And it went so smoothly. Wow. It was an incredible use of time, never to leave here. I had a very good conversation. I saw him, I heard him. I got some really good insights to maybe change some medications, whatever, right? And we moved forward because we embraced this virtual thing. Right. And they go, or you could do the video visit, or we could reschedule you for August. Wow. Yeah. I've already been waiting for months, Right. So it's amazing what this has all done, and we'll see where it goes. All right. So Martha, let me bring Martha in. David, I'll get right back to you in just a second. Yeah. Martha, so tell us something you've been doing right now or during all this that's working for you. And I asked you for several reasons. One, because you're a shining star at what you do, and you're been recognized industry-wide as just one of the best. And so I'm so glad that you could do it, but also because you're in a state that's been considered construction non-essential for some time now, and you've been having to work anyway and make something happen. So I thought, let's hear something from you that you feel like is actually working right now.
I wish it was something super magical, but it's honestly just sticking to the basics, doing your follow-up, not automating anything. It makes your day a little longer, but just being very careful about how you're communicating with the customers, spending a little extra time checking in on people, like one by one by one. I'll still segment groups and lists in our CRM and say, I'm going to work on these people today. But honestly, it's just taking the time to send video emails, calls, emails.
Mhm.
I mean, it's nothing more basic than that. I mean, the video emails, the one day, I hate video. Most people that know that about me, but I literally only communicated all of my follow-up that day by BombBomb, just
Yeah.
because I
How
felt
many,
like
I think you told me how many you did in one day, right?
it was like 20 something, but like I'm my own worst. Like I usually am not good about sending the video emails. There's always some excuse or something going on, but our team has it. We've had it for years. And I think after the one webinar I saw, I was like, well, if you do them enough, if you hit like 100 of them, you should probably feel pretty comfortable by then. So that's what I did all day. And it was so funny because people were really appreciative that day to get like a message that like was just not automated. It said their name in it. I even used the the big app, and like put their name on the on my phone, and they were just like, that made my day.
Oh.
They may never buy a house from us, but they sure
Yeah.
were happy to get that. So
Yeah.
just little things.
Do you all think there is a reluctance among on-site and maybe OSCs, probably not OSCs as much because you all are so trained and so bought in to follow up, but do you think there's any bit of reluctance right now? Like people don't really want you to talk to them. They don't want to reach out. I should be extra sensitive. So maybe we're not doing some of those basics. Does anybody think that's an issue or?
When we first started and dove into everything and started adapting our language that we were saying to the customer, I even said I felt like it was a little insensitive to ask these people if they are still in the market for a home. And the owner of our company actually said, well, do you think it's insensitive that the restaurant I used to frequent is now letting me know that they deliver? We're just letting them know that we're there, that we're available, we're working, and we're here for you. Let's do some homework and follow up with you if you can't do something now, but we are here and we can talk to you. And that has really changed a lot of just having those dormant customers, having a new reason to reach out to them. I know, I don't mean to sound cold that I'm taking advantage of a bad situation, but you run out of things to say after a point, and this has been a new reason to reach out, and we've really re-engaged a ton of customers.
That's awesome.
Okay. Whitney, what do you think about?
Yeah. I was talking to someone actually earlier today, and I think we're all in this industry. We hear every single day what's allowed, what's not allowed. And I think we can easily forget that our prospects who are not in the building industry maybe don't know what's going on. I've had several prospects say, oh, well, what's your time frame for building with COVID? And they don't know that in our state, construction is essential, and we haven't had an impact on our building timeline. So we just have to remember that we are still needing to educate people about what is happening, and they just don't assume that they know and you're bothering them.
Yeah, it really does seem to matter the temperature out there towards wanting to buy or needing to buy or wanting to move. Each area of the country seems a little different based on the impact of the COVID on them. And also just the sales team itself. Honestly, I see sales teams that have gotten really engaged with the video emails, with the social media videos, with the virtual visits, and they're hanging in there. They're still doing okay. They are making sales. It maybe isn't what it was first of the year, but they're hanging in there. We've had a question come in that I'll throw out to you guys. Brittany's asking, would you recommend as an OSC scheduling the virtual appointment time and then allowing the agent to reach out and set up the logistics that work best for them and the client? Or do you as the OSC kind of nail down what technology is going to be used?
I can answer that.
Okay, Martha.
I've been pretty much kind of leaving it as like, how can we meet with you? Like, is that by just a phone call? Is that a Zoom? Is that FaceTime? Like, what are you comfortable with? Even just telling a buyer that, we can get on a Zoom call, but you don't have to share your video. Just little things like that. And usually people relax a little bit. I think I've left the setting up of the Zoom call to the agent. Sometimes what I'll do is be like, hey, can this person call you at this time? And usually sometimes just that initial phone call builds a little more trust now with the salesperson, and they'll hang up and they'll set up a Zoom call right there. It's been working. I mean, I haven't been setting the amount of appointments we're used to setting, but it's been 6 to 8 a week at least, which is actually not bad for us. But what I'd say is we've just been flexible about how I say, you know, I'm going to like kind of hand you off now to our community specialist. They'll be able to tell you more about the pricing or this or that, and what time is a good time to jump on a call. And people are like, you want to be sensitive enough though. Don't assume everybody's just sitting around on their couches right now, because they're not. You know what I mean? Like, not everybody wants to jump on a Zoom call. Like,
oh God. Some of us are working more than we've worked in like forever. Which is wonderful. It's wonderful. It's very fortunate and awesome. But
keeping it super light and flexible about how the meeting's getting set up.
Yeah.
And it's been going pretty well. I've only had one person like blow us off. So.
Yeah, David, from an on-site perspective, what do you think as far as the agent's temperature on realizing it's okay to reach out? Now, we want to reach out as the helpers, right? We want to reach out as, hey, how are you? Are you safe? Are you well? It's good to talk to you. But, you know,
it's interesting. That was a very interesting point, and I love what Jennifer shared, that the owner of the company, you know, just that perspective of, just like the restaurant, want you to know that we're here to bring food to your car. You know, one of the things, Meredith, I think this is again, it's just kind of an ongoing. It's time to really use what we've been saying, that we've been, what is it, the Navy SEALs that say that, you know, we train in times of peace so that we're ready in times of war. And so we've been using this, we've been training, and we've been reminding our sales professionals that you are a trusted advisor who cares. You're needed. And that sign over your right shoulder, builders are essential. You know, one of the things that we told our salespeople, in training a couple of weeks ago, I just reminded them that, without overstating it, hey, the doctors and nurses are the real heroes here. They're the ones that are attacking this virus. They're going in, to really ground zero every day. There's going to be a time when they get this enemy defeated, right? And however, and I believe this with all my heart. I heard Mike Lyon say this a few weeks ago. Home builders are essential. Home building got us into this, and I think Mike's on the call. But home building got us into this in 2008. But then Mike said, and I love this, home building is going to get us out of this in 2020. And so, I've told my salespeople, and again, this may be a little hyperbolic, but home building, whether it's on site, whether it's these online consultants, whether, whoever it is in our industry, are going to be the ones that come in after, the nurses and doctors are storming the troops, they're the Marines, if you will. And then it's going to be home building that's going to come in right behind them, the infantry, and rebuild this economy. And I believe that with all my heart. And so when our agents, on-site agents and online agents, understand that they really are trusted professionals and they're needed, don't be apologetic. Don't apologize to the buyer that you're calling them. You're helping them get through some of the most uncertain times that they've been through in the past decade.
Yes.
And so just to have that confidence.
And you really don't know how many people that person's even talked to or seen in some time. I mean, most of my meetings for years have all been Zoom meetings, but honestly, we most of the time didn't turn our cameras on because I didn't want to put my makeup on. But now, like, our clients they have their cameras on. They're like, hi. And I'm like, oh, now I have to get dressed. Thanks. Because I was just basically doing screen shares with Zoom and then talking voice over internet, right? But now the cameras are on because you're like the only non-family person they've seen all day. Like, hi.
It's literally FaceTime. Yeah,
it's literally FaceTime. So, FaceTime. Hey, let's do it. Okay, Jennifer, why don't you jump in? Thank you, Martha, for that. I think that it's a great reminder of, you don't have to get fancy, folks. You don't have to reinvent all of this. Just do what you know how to do, right? Okay, Jennifer, you want to jump in? What's working for you right now?
Well, just to reiterate what Martha and David have said, we have a lot of things in place already that we weren't really strongly using, that we'd gotten out of practice because it was easy to not use them. So this has forced us to re-engage with those old practices. So we did get rid of BombBomb, but we started using Loom. And I've noticed that just by, first of all, I do want to say that our prospects have been very receptive to texting. We'll text immediately and say, this is Jennifer with Jago Homes. I just received your message. Is it okay to text you? And if I don't receive a message back, then I will send a video and say, hey, look, I'm here. I'm working at home. You can probably even hear my kids. If it's okay to text you or call, let me know. Otherwise, I've sent you an email. And 9 times out of 10, they reply. I don't know if that's because they're at home. I don't know if that's because most of the people on this website now are more serious buyers. I don't know if it's because, OSCs are rock stars. I don't know, but they're all, they're mostly engaging with us by doing the things that we've been taught to do, but just have put those things on, the back burner for a little bit. So, and just so much communication. Our on-site sales team that isn't that tech savvy, those people are the ones that have really stepped up and taken charge and really made it a point to learn all of this technology, and they are killing it out there.
Perfect. All right. Well, it seems that we have a special guest that is joining us for a moment. So let me see if I can get this special guest unmuted. It is a Zoom llama. Oh my God, yay! Everybody welcome Steve Fritz, the COO of H Hunt Homes, who incredibly said, hey, you need a llama for your Zoom meeting. I got one. So Steve, I don't know why, but I cannot seem to get you unmuted. I'm trying, but everyone please say hi to our very special guest today, Zoom-a-llama. Hi, Zoom-a-llama. So if you were wondering what is happening right now and why is there a llama on the screen, last week the news broke that a farm in California had been shut down due to social distancing and had come up with this idea of goat to meeting. And so what they would do is for anywhere from $60 to $200 each, you could rent a goat or llama for your virtual meeting. So of course I went on there to try and get you guys a goat to meeting or a llama because it's fun. And they're booked for months. There are none. They're going to need a lot more llamas and a lot more goats because there aren't any. So then Debbie at H Hunt messaged me and said, Steve, our COO, has llamas. And so he made it happen. And so Zoom-a-llama is here. Thank you, Steve. Can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine. I don't know if you can hear me now.
Yeah, we hear you great. How are the llamas today?
They're a lot less stressed than we are.
Right?
But we're all gonna make it through just fine together. So
yes, we are. And part of making it through together is having a good laugh and having some fun. So yes, the llamas will jump occasionally, which is amazing. So Steve and I actually practiced yesterday to make sure that he had a strong enough internet coverage out at the barn to connect on Zoom with Zoom-a-llama. And sure enough, he did. And so I bring you Zoom-a-llama.
That's
yeah.
cool.
So here's what's going to happen, folks. Outhouse is generously sponsoring a giveaway this week of a smartphone gimbal. And I put the link on Facebook. It is a really nice product that you put your iPhone in and hold and allows you to film really smooth virtual tours. Well, Steve is a busy man, and so he's going to have to go here in just a minute. but Zoom-a-Llama is going to stay on chat for the rest of our Builder Town Hall. And the person that comes up with the cleverest question for Zoom-a-Llama, as voted by our distinguished panel of experts, will win, with Kevin of Outhouse being the deciding vote, of course, will win today's prize. So please be thinking of your clever questions for Ask a Zoom-a-Llama. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. You guys have a
little
great meeting.
levity to our meeting. Thank you. Bye, Zoom-a-Llama. Yeah,
Bye-bye.
we're gonna turn Zoom-a-Llama's camera off now, but he's gonna stay on chat, so you better pay attention. Oh, there he is. Who's got a llama question? All right, so back to the matter at hand. Thanks, you guys. So that's our very special guest that we were having today. And Debbie at HH10, I appreciate you so much for reaching out to me and telling me, hey, we can make this Zoom-a-Llama happen, because why not? Okay, so I think, Whitney, I was about to talk to you. Is that right?
Yep.
Right before Zoom-a-Llama showed
I know.
up.
How do I follow that?
Yeah, I know. Sorry. That was
That's all
terrible
right.
timing
Sorry.
for you. Okay. So, Whitney, what do you find is working for you right now?
So I think the thing that's probably been most effective for me is really trying to have a mindset that I am now a switchboard operator. And so, you know, our marketing departments are spending, as they like to tell us, thousands of dollars to get that person interested enough to pick up the phone or submit that internet lead. And really, until they see the home, that's their level of interest is going to be at the highest when they make that call. So it's all about capturing that emotion and keeping it going. So I'll do my normal kind of pre-qualification questions, and then I just try to get them over to our on-site agent as fast as possible. Most of our agents are still in their models, but they're locked and they're by appointment only. And then I've got a couple agents who are working from home as well. So, you know, I might say something like, hey, this seems like this home is a really great option for your family. Would you like to see it now? I can have our agent FaceTime you in about 5 minutes to walk you through it. Or if you want to leave now, we can meet you there and let you in. I think just living in this Amazon Prime world that we all live in now, and we know our clients expect things quickly. It's weird because as of the last couple of weeks, I find when people call, it's almost like they're anticipating that they're going to run up against some friction. They don't know who's open. They don't know how it works, if they're allowed, where they can or can't go. So by offering them that chance to see the home almost instantly, it's almost just this big relief for them. And it's exciting, like, oh, there's actually something I can get instantly. And it's really kind of helped us keep that momentum going and just get people over to appointments.
So that's interesting. One of the questions that came in when I'm always, everybody that's listening, I'm serious when I ask for your questions ahead of time, because we really do want to serve you. So please do send them. And one of them that came in was, is there a question or something we can say to people to kind of figure out, like, would you really buy a home right now? Or are you just kind of browsing and shopping for a year from now? So do you feel like by kind of throwing out that possibility, would you like to talk to someone right now with the FaceTime, Whitney? That is a big, like, bing. Yes, the answer is yes.
Yeah, because I've certainly had a few people that said, hey, no, we're still a year out, or I haven't totally decided yet, and that will kind of let me know their timeline. But most of the people that have said yes have ended up going on site and been very engaged. And I think sometimes people don't think that their timeline is right now, and then they get to the home and they realize, oh, I do need to make a move right now. This is right for me.
Yeah. So how do you coordinate that with the on-site agents as far as, like, are they in the shower, or and you're saying, hey, I can FaceTime in 5 minutes? Like, again, I have to put my makeup on before I can FaceTime you. So how are you guys coordinating your schedules?
So most of our agents are in their models. So hopefully they've already showered and are prepared. So normally—
Oh, that's right. So they're working in their models. Yeah. It's just the door is locked.
Exactly. So I'll text them early on in the conversation and say, hey, I'm on the phone with someone who's interested in this home. Are you available? I also have access to all of their calendars on Outlook. And because we are by appointment only, It's pretty easy for me to tell what they're up to. So generally speaking, we've been able to handle it no problem.
Yeah. Brooke, your sales manager, just chatted in, yes, Homes by Dickerson has clean agents available to help you now. Smiley face.
It's a great marketing
Martha,
message.
Martha and I were laughing early on because when we were during setup, you guys, because we've done this remote thing for years, right? And with kids. So when you've done a remote thing for a long time, you kind of forget that, oh yeah, if you're in the model, you had to get dressed. Jennifer and Martha, are you guys doing anything kind of instant like that? Handoffs? And
Absolutely.
Talk to me about that.
We just had our weekly call with the sales team last week and we said, please make sure your calendars are as up to date as possible, because most of the people that want to meet right now want to meet the same day. So absolutely, we're not having a problem with it. It was kind of hit and go in the beginning, figuring everyone's schedules, but yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Martha, what about you? What's the handoff like?
Well, we're all at home right now, so nobody's at any of our
True.
models. So
Right.
I try to, we're all working, but I don't want to assume that people aren't busy on a call with somebody else or this or that. So I said, I'll say, how is 3 today, or how is 2, and then I'll text the agent or get a hold of them as quick as I can. But I try to give them some sort of buffer to, say yes or no, or I can't assume everybody, even with their schedules, that something didn't come up, especially because we're all at home. Like, I don't know, is homeschooling going on? Is there a dog barking? Are you showered? Or,
exactly. Yeah.
So I've just been playing it by ear. Like I said, the volume of appointments have gone down. So I do have some time on my side to set these up. But it's essentially been the same. It really hasn't been much different.
Mm-hmm. David, what are you guys doing to kind of try to strike while the iron's hot, to figure out like who's really going to buy something in the near future and who's not?
Yeah. So, that's been key for us, is just making sure that we're shortening the cycle anywhere we can. If we've got a buyer that's in one of our sales centers, if we can get them to sign while they're there, we've become so accustomed to using, our docs and DocuSign and those different things that, oh, don't worry, I'll send you the contract tonight and we'll get it executed. Well, there's just a heightened sense of urgency, which again is something we hope continues. And so we have definitely been looking at cycle times from, if we can close the buyer instead of them making a buying decision on the second visit, can we get them on the first visit? With our online sales consultants, if we can get that appointment booked after the first contact, just trying to be cognizant of, with all the other anxieties that are going on. Again, like Jennifer said earlier, we're doing them a service. And so if they're in the market to buy a home, the quicker we can help them make that decision and get on to something else, get on to finding toilet paper or whatever the other, urgency of the day is. So
it's urgent.
It is now. So obviously, it's all about, how quick can we get this done? And then the other thing, and this, I haven't heard this come up yet today, but y'all talked about it repeatedly, and I think it bears repeating, is also with the buyers that are under contract, making sure that we're monitoring our back.
Yes.
Staying in touch,
yes.
And it's all about confidence. I shared with you the other day, Meredith, that I heard, somebody say that the difference in selling in a good market and a bad market is where the buyer's confidence comes from. In a good market, the buyer's confidence comes from everywhere. Their friends, their parents, their coworkers are telling them now's the time to buy. The media, in a good market, everybody's saying, oh, it's a good buying decision. You should do that. Good job. In a bad market, everybody's saying the opposite. Oh, don't buy now. Are you crazy? What are you doing? And so they still need confidence, right? It's still an emotional decision backed by a little bit of logic. So they still need that confidence. So the difference in the bad market is that confidence has to come from us, right? Whether it starts with the online consultant or the on-site consultant. And so, shortening that time, trying to take away any anxiety, that they have, and just trying to move them to understand if this is the right decision for them. helping them see that it's the right decision as quick as possible.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything that you guys have seen people do, salespeople do, that is helping to support and calm and comfort? Is it just staying in regular contact? Is it sending the videos like we've been talking about? Or what are your agents doing to create that sense of calm?
Well, for us, a lot of our agents are the increased touch points, but they're also providing certainty to the customers that it is a good time to buy, and that they understand what they're going through, and not making promises that they can't keep, role playing with each other to, combat any potential issues. We've really got an amazing team, and they really are killing it out there.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to project calm and confidence. And that's where, when you're second guessing, would anyone buy right now? Why would they buy? What, when you have that yourself, you will end up projecting that.
Exactly.
So that confidence of what your president shared of helping, I think, is important. All right, here's another one for you. Do you, in the sales that you are making right now, for those of you that can meet in person, not Pennsylvania yet, it's coming soon, right? What's the date?
Actually, good news, one of our sales agents who's hopefully on this call somewhere just sold a home. So literally just sold a home. So shout out to Greg who's out there, but we just sold
congratulations.
Yep.
Right?
So, yeah,
that's
and it was
fantastic.
an inventory home, so that's even better.
Yeah, nice. So do you find that most of those are happening with people who are willing to have a visit, if you can have a visit, or is anybody doing these totally virtually as far as getting to the sales part of it?
Yeah, we've done both, Meredith. We're so in Georgia, not only are we able to sell, if you've watched the news, we're about to be able to get haircuts and massages again on Friday. Yay.
Yeah.
So I think buyers are always looking for social proof. And so we've been selling homes. We've continued to sell homes. In fact, our VP of sales shared yesterday that we're actually a little ahead of where we were last April, and last year was a banner year. And so we're a little ahead of where we were this time last year. And so just letting buyers know that, hey, Mr. Smith was just here. He's going to be your neighbor. He just wrote a contract today. Oh, somebody wrote a contract today. And so just giving that social proof, that permission, and confidence that, yeah, it's okay. People are buying houses.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to bring in our panel to expand our discussion here. Everybody welcome Carrie Mulcrone of Carrie & Co., Angela McKay of ECI Lasso, and Matt Riley. Hold on, I got to get you unmuted. Hold, please. Unmute. I'm trying. You might have. Oh no, I got it. Yes. And Matt Riley, VP of Group 2. Hi, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
Hey. So I want to expand the discussion. Carrie, you and I have been working with a builder in Virginia who has really tripled down on daily video.
Right.
The agents are doing video to social media. They're doing video talking into the camera. They're doing videos walking through homes. And you and I happened to look at their Facebook numbers the other day.
Right.
And they were through the roof. Why don't you tell us about what those agents are doing every day to make a difference?
So I think it speaks to what Whitney, Martha, and Jennifer all said, that, to get comfortable, you have to do the uncomfortable, and you have to do it again and again, right? So when you kind of have to make it, I hate to say this, but non-negotiable. There was a time where it was like, it would be really good idea if you guys did some video. Well, it's beyond a really good idea. So they need to do it. They're requested to do it or voluntold. as I call it sometimes. But I think that it's just they're getting more comfortable with being uncomfortable and doing it. And our goal is to stay in as real time as we can, right, Meredith, on that website. So if you look in 20 minutes, it could be updated with something.
Yeah. And so when we checked the Facebook numbers for the last 28 days, which is the period of time that they really embrace this video strategy of a daily video from almost everybody on the team going somewhere, I think the views were, or the reach and were up, I think it was like 29,000%. It was a 5-digit number in the 20,000s.
28,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I will tell you, I've got to get another screen open. Hang on. I was actually looking. Okay, hold on. I got it right here. Earlier, right before we got on the call, Carrie, I was looking at their website traffic year over year.
Okay.
It's up. You ready? 165%. March the 22nd through April 20th, the last 30 days over the previous 30 days, up 165%. And that's in a pandemic. And I'm telling you that it's this strategy that we've been talking about of engaging salespeople. I've said it for 3 or 4 weeks now, the democratization of marketing down to the grassroots salesperson's level. This isn't just one person's job in the office. I mean, they've got to corral and curate all this, and it's not easy, right, Carrie?
Right.
I got my hands full. But you get it all working and you work it together, and in a pandemic, your website could be up 165% and you're still knocking down several sales a week, which for this builder meets sales goals.
Right.
So when I asked the question on social yesterday, what are you doing? I asked you for an action item. I'm not asking you, what is your mentality, folks? Thinking in a certain way. I'm not asking you, what is your philosophy on selling? I'm asking you an action question. Find something you can physically do on a daily basis. Do you need to call 5 realtors and just say, hey man, I love you. I haven't talked to you forever. Are you well? That's something you can do. Angela, Matt, I'll throw it out to you guys. What are your clients doing that you see that's making an impact?
Go ahead,
Angela, go ahead.
What I'm loving is they're engaged and they're wanting to learn more. And, you can see it by the numbers today in the webinar, but, I'm working with clients and they are actually, they're digging into their database and looking at their prospects. They're looking at why are they rated this way? And let's do a little bit of an audit of our system. Let's see what we can change. What can we do better? And I am having these wonderful conversations with customers and with our users that all of a sudden light bulbs are going off. And I hope that continues. I really, truly do, because I think we're at a real pivoting point right now. And when you talk about the democratization of marketing, 10 years ago, if I'd asked my team, can somebody write a blog post, or can we create a schedule for a blog calendar, it was like pulling teeth. Now there's a little more interest, right? And there's actually everyone's stepping in a little bit, and please don't stop.
Yeah. How about you, Matt? What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, I think that conversations I've been having are especially around buyers and the old traditional way of rating buyers. And we always fall into that trap of, all right, what are your A prospects? Who are you working right now? And really, what conversations I'm having is, I don't want to talk about your A prospects. I want to talk about your B's and your C's, because before that B and the C, we quickly rated them a B and a C because we had tons of other stuff going on. But your B's are now A's and your C's are now A's and your D's are now B's. And we're really starting to see a personal engagement with every single customer, every single traffic unit, whether it comes in online or whether it's a previous relationship. But take your ratings, your A's, B's, C's, and D's, and throw them out the window, because all of that was done prior to, right? It was all figured out and rated prior to pandemic.
All right,
That's a
so
great
let
point.
me, I want the OSCs to kind of chime in on this. For the three of you, you know, you're living in lead rating world for sure. What do you guys think about this idea that the ratings have changed?
Yes, I do agree with that, but I also, yes, I feel like it's a different way to look at everything. I mean, we don't know, this is new to all of us. So reaching back out to all these old leads, yeah, they could obviously be an A if they were dormant or even not qualified a year ago. They might qualify now and be essential and be able to get a loan. So there's no reason not to reach out to everyone you can in the database.
Yeah,
let me expand on the why, right? So the B's, the C's, and the D's. A lot of times we misrank prospects as they come in the door, but also, you know, an A buyer is ready, willing, and able. A B buyer is 2 of the 3. A C buyer is 1 of the 3, right? Well, now that everyone's at home, and we've talked about this before, your pain points are now amplified because we're all in our homes. So someone that maybe wasn't as ready, willing, or able to move quicker before, their timeline may now change because all the feelings that they were having before are now amplified to what they're feeling right now. So which is why the whole thing of your B's and C's are now A's, because they have a whole new meaning for why they need to move.
Interesting. Carrie?
Yeah, I think, Matt, we've had this conversation, Angela, as we've worked with ratings when we're working with CRM systems specifically, but I think that in today's world is that there's the A, the B, the C, and the D, and there's all the reasons of ready and willing, right? But I think that if everyone started paying very close attention to buying behaviors and categorize people according to the behavior, someone could be a C, but if their behavior says, call me, Zoom me, send me information, I'm saying put the A, B, C, D to the side a little bit for right now. Be very intuitive to their behaviors, serve the need of the behavior, and all of a sudden the categorization is going to be crystal clear for you.
Okay. I think, you know, when on the digital marketing side, Carrie, the best digital marketing are the most effective campaigns are the ones that target on behavior. So it completely makes sense to me for agents to kind of think that way in their lead rankings as well. That's interesting. All right. Very good. Okay. So what else? I also want to know, as we're moving forward and we're slowly inching, hopefully, to some new level of whatever, what out of all of this, what do you think's gonna stick around? What do you think's gonna stay put? Whitney, I'll start with you.
Honestly, I'm hoping all of it will. I think David was so right when he said we're now doing the things we should have always been doing. We're all getting more comfortable with it. I think, you know, even 3 weeks ago to today, there's such a difference in response of when you ask a client, hey, do you want to do a virtual meeting? You know, at first it was like, oh, I don't know. And now it's like, yeah, sure. I've done 5 already this week. And so hopefully that can continue. I think people are really going to start adjusting to the idea of, wait, I can buy a house sight unseen. There are so many tools available to me. Why not? So that's what I'm hopeful for.
Yeah. How about you, David? What do you think's going to stick around out of all of this?
I think virtual selling. I think we're going to see buyers who are willing to engage that way, and I think we're going to see salespeople who are embracing that. I really think that's something that, you know, we keep hearing, like we have after other big events, you know, in our nation. We hear that, you know, some things are never going to be the same, and I really think that's true. And I think for our industry, I think the way buyers buy and the way, and if we're smart, the way we sell is going to change. And I think virtual selling will be, it's nothing new. There's nothing that we're engaging that's new. It's just that we're using it more and we're relying on it and we're seeing it move the needle.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
the things, And Meredith, I'd be interested, I don't know if I could just type this question, but for Matt or some of you who are working with other clients, do you know of anybody who has changed their forecast, their sales forecast short term because of the situation?
Yeah. I mean, I can think of a couple of our clients who are, I mean, they kind of wanted to wait out March and April, but I think come May, they're making some adjustments.
Yeah.
Again, really depends on the state and how involved and whether they're even open or not open. And what about you, Matt?
Yeah, non-essentials in a lot of areas, are having that conversation. But at the same time, we've got builder clients in non-essential states, in like Washington, for instance, that are having some of the best, the best year they've ever had. Record March, record Aprils. So it really depends on the area that you're serving. But some are adjusting, some are backfilling in with lighter sales with inventory, so that way they don't miss their closing goal down the road. So they're knowing like, hey, if I'm supposed to sell 20 and I'm only going to sell 10 for the next 60 days each month, I'm going to backfill that with some inventory and then make sure I still hit my closing goals down the road. So seeing some of that too.
One thing to add to that for David, and I think piggybacking what Matt said, is it's not all about the numbers, because as you look at the amount of inventory, we're the game, in a lot of areas, because in the resale market, they don't have as much. So it's sometimes about the margin. So you do not have to be giving away the farm. Oh, did I say that to the llama?
Zuma llama will be so
the farm giving away the farm.
Oh my word, Zuma
the
llama just
farm.
chatted in. Don't give me away. Hey now, watch out. Martha, what about in like where you guys have been so impacted? Are you guys making changes to sales projections and marketing budgets, or what?
In projections, I don't know. I think we've been so busy just trying to keep stuff moving along and all of that. I think we'll figure that out next month. But as far as marketing goes, I mean, of course, some stuff we've saved some money on was stuff that I hated paying for anyway, like directional signs and brochures. So in a certain way, it's kind of been awesome.
Kind of free.
Made some, I love it. But so even the money saved on that, I mean, was like significant. And we've invested, some money into, we can't really do anything right now. We can't even like go out into our models, can't really send photographers anywhere. So we've just been repurposing some of the stuff we already had, which, to be honest, we were not in that bad of shape before all of this as far as our marketing went. So it's just been some little tweaks. Of course, there's some more stuff that, could always be improved upon, but we've been just seriously concentrating on our customers. And there's so much shiny stuff out there right now that I think, while it's good that everyone's having these conversations, I think they also just need to stay good at the basics and, stay on top of their customers. I'm not even worried about what the competition is doing right now. So
we've got somebody that chatted in, asked, do any of you used Calendly? That's hard to say. I know the app well, but Calendly or something similar for the OSC on-site agent scheduling? How do you guys handle sharing calendars and making that happen? What tech are you using?
We use Google Calendars.
Okay.
So we have that. Yeah.
Google Calendars for you guys. What about Outlook, shared Outlook calendars? Anybody using that?
Yeah, we're doing shared Outlook calendars. We're looking into Calendly, but right now Outlook has worked really well for us.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Martha?
We have a small enough team that it's manageable. I mean, I'm only dealing with like 4 or 5 agents. So Outlook, and honestly, we put everything publicly in Lasso so that we can see in there. I know it's not like the most, complex thing, but with 4 or 5 people, it's completely manageable.
So.
Yeah, and you know, that's a question that somebody popped in and asked earlier, or comment somebody made in chat early on, is the importance of getting even more information documented in your CRM to pass on, you know, so that that's so critical. All right, so I'm going to do a last call, y'all, for Q&A. So if you've got a question we haven't answered, now is the time. I've got one here I'm going to do while anybody that has a last question, get your question in. Michelle's asked, talking about being more intuitive with behavior. What is your thought of a same time, same day update video? And how would you feel the best way to promote? Requesting an invite, just sending out directly? So I'm not totally sure, Michelle. I know that you say, okay, I'm trying to think. What is your thought of a same time, same day update video?
I'm thinking it's maybe like a Facebook Live session that she's saying, you know, same day, sort of providing an update. Is that, I don't know, is she maybe
yeah,
she can
chat
respond?
in, Michelle, if you're still on the call, and let us know, kind of clarify, because I do know if you're doing the virtual meetings, like I've seen a bunch of virtual open houses advertised, and then we'll like be on Zoom from 1 to 2. But the issue with that is it's happening in such a silo. I'm not sure how many people you're going to get to attend that. Right. Whereas, yes, if you are every day at 10 a.m. live on Facebook with another tour or virtual type visit, you know, you might get an audience because they know it. Okay, let's see. Oh, hi. Okay, it's Jean. Hi, Jean. In for Michelle. Yeah, if we did a weekly video, how to promote it.
So
yeah,
one of the things that everybody's saying about is, and it's why things are going to stay the same, is it's how you condition the customer. We as a society have conditioned people how to buy differently, which is probably not going to go away. But how we as individual companies condition our people to get information from us is really what the answer is. Like when Meredith was talking about the company that we work with together, that they've got a daily thought, we have conditioned the customer to know that every single day you can go get that daily thought. And that's where the readership is going up. It's what you condition them to do, I think, is how they will respond.
Yeah, that's excellent. All right, in our last call, we got one, and then we're getting ready to vote on our llama drama of Zoom Llama winner and who's going to win the gift from Outhouse. So last question, Nicole asked, everybody's mentioning Zoom. Did anybody try out Buongiorno or Hippo video that was mentioned last week by our guest last week, David?
Good
yeah.
question.
So is anybody, if you've tried it, if you're listening in and you've tried it, oh, you meant BombBomb. Okay, sorry. So she actually meant BombBomb. So everybody's talked about using BombBomb for email. Has anybody tried Buongiorno or Hippo video? If you have, type into the chat and let Nicole know what your experiences have been. Yeah, are you guys pretty much all using BombBomb for your video emails or something else?
I looked at the Hippo video and I'm really intrigued by it, but I haven't had a chance to test it. But to be able to send out 80 videos within a matter of minutes, it's intriguing. I want to know more about it. I just haven't had time yet.
Right. Okay. All right. So I think Kevin from Outhouse, I think I have you unmuted. Are you there?
I am here.
Yay, he's here. Okay, sweet.
And I've got some pretty good news.
Okay.
I have 3 front runners and 1 automatic disqualified.
What?
Well, I'm a big fan of puns, and somebody, I'm not going to his name, but somebody put, my llama told me you better shop around. And they're disqualified for one major reason. You shouldn't be telling people to shop around. You should be closing the deal.
Yeah,
Close
I
the
agree.
sale, Zoom Llama.
I like what you did there. Yeah,
So
yeah, don't be shopping.
Although I love the pun, you're disqualified. So here are the top 3. And
Okay.
Meredith, since you put so much work into hosting these and your whole team and everything, I want you to pick your favorite out of the 3.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
If I win the gimbal, can I take panorama of a llama, or would that cause too much drama?
That's a pretty good one.
That's entry number 1. Entry number
Okay.
2. Llama show you a home. I guess it's more like let me show you a home, but llama show you a home.
Llama show you a home. Okay.
And your third entry is want to buy a home? I'll pack a lunch, or we camel grab a drink and discuss it. Either way, llama no. Or yeah, either way, lemon no. Llama no.
Llama no. Llama no.
They're even hard to read out loud, aren't they?
They're hard to read out loud.
Right.
So,
okay. Jennifer, what are you thinking? 1, 2, or 3?
1.
1.
One.
Okay. Oh, Carrie's a 1. Martha, oh
Martha's
my
a
word, 1 is, oh, Whitney, oh, it's going to be a blowout.
That's a
Yeah, I think
blowout.
it is.
Well, then
Excellent.
I can announce your winner. I honestly don't remember what builder she is with, but Melissa Call is your winner. K-A-H-L.
Melissa, yes,
Yeah.
Melissa is with Caruso Homes.
Oh,
Yeah, Melissa is with Caruso Homes out of Baltimore-ish area, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Woohoo! Yay. Okay. Well, congratulations, Kevin. We appreciate you and thank you for playing along and providing this. That's awesome. So I have Melissa's email address, so I will intro the 2 of you on email so you can get coordinated and get her address to send her an Amazon delivery.
Sounds good. Congratulations, Melissa. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Thank you guys. Okay, perfect. Okay. Last question, and we're going to work it in because Jennifer's boss is asking.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I'm not going to not answer. So, and a good friend for many years in the industry, Scott, is asking, how do you think, and this is a perfect way to end, actually, and David, I know you had some thoughts on this to wrap us up today. How are we going to keep sales professionals motivated? They love social contact, this idea of working remotely forever, I mean, these are people, and that energy and getting that enthusiasm going. So anybody have any thoughts on that?
I have a
Carrie?
quick one then.
Yeah.
What I'm loving is it's changing the meaning of a one-on-one meeting between a sales manager and a salesperson or build or whoever is the person. I think that everyone is just craving that interaction. So they chat about not many things, a lot to do with customers and how construction's going, but how are you doing? And I love that the interaction from a one-on-one basis is changing and I'm loving it.
Yeah. Jennifer, Martha, Whitney, how do you guys kind of stay motivated even though, you've been working remotely for some time, really?
I've always worked in the office.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this has been a challenge. I stay motivated because we're busy. We're just so busy. But I understand what he's asking because I used to work on site and I do miss the human interaction with everyone around the office. It's really hard. So
Yeah.
I think it's a legit question.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer, obviously.
Yeah. How about you, Whitney?
Honestly, in a way, I found that we're all more motivated. I think every call that we get, every person that comes to a model home, we're just so excited to talk to someone. It's like, yes, you're a person. Stay with me all day. So that has been great. And honestly, as a team, I think we're checking in with each other more. We have a sales team text thread where we text each other if we found toilet paper somewhere. Just doing those touch points with each other to make sure we're doing okay has helped.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How about you, Martha?
I mean, for me, since I'm like the sole person that anyone can speak to right now, more so than ever, because our models are closed. So even if somebody calls from a model door, they're getting a hold of me right now. So I'm always motivated, but I feel like super motivated to keep my team busy because I want to take these people calling me and pass them off to them. So it's hard because I'm like working behind the scenes like I normally am, but I'm like working even crazier because I want them to feel busy and connected, and you know, even us introverts are losing our minds at home too. So
yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I've just been working super hard to keep passing people along to them.
Yeah. Angela and Matt, how are you guys, you and your internal teams, how are you guys staying motivated and staying?
We have, you know, communication is key always. And, you know, we use Slack as our messaging system. And I highly recommend having some way of communicating easily, whether it's Slack, whether it's Teams, whether it's Skype, whatever you choose. There needs to be a way to easily connect and make it fun. Have an opportunity to have a fun channel, have a way to create some levity.
Have a Zoom llama.
Exactly.
Yeah. How about you, Matt? What's working for you guys at Group 2?
It is constant communication. I mean, every day we meet at 9 a.m. as a team. Sometimes it's only 5-6 minutes, just as a quick check-in. Everybody's sharing what they've got going on for the day. Now different team members are leading that 9 a.m. get together. Like today, somebody actually said, all right, here's our meeting. We're going to play music, and literally colored because it was just as like we've got to have the mental capacity. Like, you know, it's a little crazy and understanding that mentally it's different. And, you know, but frequent check-ins in the morning, midday with different departments and just who you interact with. Frequent communication is not just a message, but a face-to-face video interaction.
Yeah.
And something that I've talked about for years and I've closed a lot of talks with, and David's going to expand on this here in just a second, but for me, I have to really just stay connected to why I'm doing what I'm doing. My aspirational, you know, I can't help it. I'm a speaker. What do you want from me, people, right? So I have to stay really connected on purpose to my why of what it is, who I do it for, why I do it. And that really it's service, that trying to be the helper and trying to serve, and that really in what we do, it matters. So Scott, I would try to help your team remember that what we do in new home sales really matters. So I'll tee that up to you, David, and I'll let you close us out with what you wanted to share when you and I talked on the phone the other day.
Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that. And it really is, I love that, just sitting down and coloring. I think we have to remember that, you know, these are uncharted waters, and sometimes our people don't just need more direction. Sometimes they just need inspiration. You know, sometimes they need motivation. Sometimes they just need to know it's okay. Hey, this is going to end, and we're going to get on the other side of it. And so, you know, I was telling Meredith and I spoke a week ago, and I was telling her the last time I saw her, she said something to the group. She was speaking to the Home Builders Association here in Atlanta, and there were a couple hundred people in the room. And she said something that just like stuck with me, so much so that I have used it with our salespeople at Smith Douglas a couple of times since I heard it. So September the 12th, and she's speaking to the HBA group, and just a great night, very profitable. And I mean this with all earnestness and sincerity. If you've ever heard Meredith in person just talk, it's time well spent. And if you haven't, you should. And so she's kind of bringing all of her thoughts together. And she said, hey guys, and I'm paraphrasing, I can't do this like she did, but she said, hey guys, I was just reminiscing yesterday. I don't know if you've looked at the calendar, but yesterday was September 11th. And she said, you know, every time I go out and I do these talks and I'm away from home, I'm drawn back to that day. And she said, and she kind of just began to paint this picture. She said, you know, hey, you know, even though it's been, you know, at that time, what, 18 years, not 18 years, she said it's been 18 years ago, you can you can almost remember exactly what you were doing in that moment. You know, when you first heard about the first plane, the first tower, and then the second tower, the plane, you know, in DC and then in Pennsylvania. And so you could hear a pin drop. And she said, you know, as the events of that morning were unfolding, where did you want to go? And you could hear people like uttering. Carol Morgan was sitting right next to me, and I heard her say, home. And I said it, home. And you could just, and Meredith, I don't know if you could up there, but I mean, through the whole room, you could hear people. I don't even know if they were aware that they were that they were verbal, but they were saying home.
And honestly, it happens that way almost every time. You know, you take a beat right there, you pause it, and you just say, when that morning began to happen on September 11th, where was the place that you wanted to be? What was your first thought? And it's home. It's home. And, you know, as speakers and educators like Carrie and myself, Matt, I mean, we say a lot of stuff and you never really know, is something resonating? Is it not? And so I appreciated David telling me that had resonated with him when I saw him several months ago, because it's really applicable right now. We're all stuck at home and we kind of want out of home, but it is a reminder that this home we are in is the central hub of all of our lives, no matter what is happening.
That's right.
And keeping your sales agents motivated, connected to their why, that they provide guidance and partnership and expertise on the central hub of every one of our lives. Home.
We get to sell home. Yeah. And to
do that.
Yeah. To remind our folks. I mean, that's what I'd say to Scott is just remind them you're selling home. Meredith, you did that for me. And it's so unreal that even before COVID-19, I was using that and reminding people, hey, this is what Meredith reminded us, that we're selling home. Yeah, we're essential. We're selling home.
Yes.
And so anyway, how much more now? How much more now? We're selling home. So, you know, I'm a big lug. I get emotional, but it means the world to me. And so thank you for that reminder, Meredith, that
you're welcome.
You know, that's how I stay motivated, is just to inspire our folks that, hey, you're selling home.
Yeah. So just, I think there's been several things that have helped for me personally. The connection, I mean, Carrie, Matt, Angela, and I have a constant texting thread going where we're just having fun, where we're planning this. We look forward to seeing all of you every week. We look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. We really are trying to build a community here. So we want you to engage. We want you to get involved. So that has been incredibly helpful. And I only knew to do that because of another speaker who formulated a similar type thing and modeled it for me. And then once all this started, I knew how to then model it and roll it out in home building, which nobody had done this type of format before. So then you guys now take these things that you're seeing here that we're doing, we're modeling for you, and build those kind of connections and relationships with your clients, your customers, with your peers, with each other in your groups, and we're going to make it through just fine. So we appreciate you. We thank you. Jennifer, Martha, Whitney, David, you guys were rock stars today. You are so, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're so welcome. I do have a surprise that will be coming your way as a thank you. It is not a llama, but it is something that I hope that will be good and be helpful for you. And I just thank you guys very much. And then of course, Carrie, Angela, Matt, I couldn't do it without you. I thank you guys as well. All right. So with that, Zoomalama is signing off for this week. But thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kevin from Outhouse. We appreciate you as well. We will see you guys next Tuesday with more essential tips, tricks, strategies, hacks on how to sell in any market whatsoever. Peace out.
Thanks, Meredith.